Hey, I'm Scott at ediblemusic.com. Sibilants, the S sounds that come when we're performing a vocal track, can be a really big problem in part to a few different things. Partially, it's because we're using these condenser microphones that are really sensitive, and often we're standing pretty close to the mic, which emphasizes those S sounds. And then we're adding some processing. We want to add some EQ boosts at the top end to give some airiness to the vocals, some compression in order to solidify them. But then each of those processes will add to the sibilants that you'll be able to hear. And so it kind of amplifies the problem from recording to processing and de-essing. The process of reducing or removing those sibilants becomes a really important part of your mixing process. But it can be difficult to wrangle those S sounds without damaging the rest of the vocal track. So I want to show you a few ways to approach it in a safe and effective way that will help out your mixes quite a lot. The first way is to maybe isolate and actually just turn down the actual S sounds that you can find. And they can usually be pretty noticeable within the waveforms of the vocal. So if I come back here, here's one. So what you could do is to find that clip and then just turn it down a bit. And that can help out quite a bit. But if you've got a song where there are a lot of S's happening, that might feel a little bit cumbersome. I do want to point this one out first, though, because it can be really effective, especially if you were to go even more complex and move all of these S's just to their own track, because then if you're sending your vocal to a reverb track, those bright sounds of the sibilants from the voice won't be part of the reverb and it'll be much smoother. The importance of reverbs and delays, these spatial effects, are that they kind of will sit behind the vocal, but they don't necessarily want to announce themselves so much. But if you've got these sharp S's, then they really will. So if you were to, in fact, have your S's split all the way onto a different track, and then your original vocal track can be sent into a reverb, then you don't need to worry about that as much. Or at the very least, you could still send them, but just a smaller amount. Still a little bit cumbersome. I would understand if you don't want to try that, but it can be really effective if you do, especially if you're having trouble with the actual process of using a de-esser plugin, which I'll show you in a bit. Doing this manually can be really effective, even though it's a little bit more time consuming. But if you want to add some processing, then you could add a compressor. And what I've done here is I've raised the ratio by quite a lot. The attack is very fast. And if your compressor has a look ahead function, I would suggest to add that to it as well. And the release will be quite fast because usually those sibilants are very quick, right? They're not like a drawn out note that a person would sing. So you would set your compressor up potentially to compress quite a lot, but only to do so very quickly. And if your compressor has an internal sidechain feature where you can adjust the way that the compressor responds to the incoming sound, then you could try to isolate where those sibilants are happening, and then that will be the thing that triggers the compressor instead of the entirety of the vocal. It'll just be these specific frequencies in the vocal that will start the compressor to react. So let's try that out. So as you can see on the gain reduction, when there are no S's, it's still compressing a little bit because it's difficult to capture with a regular compressor just those frequencies. But then once it is hitting the S, then it's compressing much more by 7 or 8 dB as opposed to 0.5 or 0.1. So that's a little bit more helpful. If you don't have an actual de-esser processing plugin, then you could give a compressor a try. But if you do have a de-esser, then I would recommend giving that a shot. And I'm going to show you how to do it using this Waves de-esser. And the way that it works is that it will focus more on those specific sibilant frequencies in a better way, a more effective way than a regular compressor is able to, usually just because the filters that are applied are a little bit more precise. A de-esser functions the same way as we just did with the compressor by using an internal sidechain and determining the frequencies that will trigger it. So if we start to engage it, you can see on this blue bar where those S's start to kind of come up. Right there. And there was another one. And then you can try to find the frequency where it's applied. So the threshold on de-esser is really important, because if it's all the way down here and it's just affecting everything, then that's the harmfulness that a de-esser can potentially do to your vocal. So you want to find that spot where it's peaking up just where those S's are happening, at the same time as you're trying to find where on the frequency spectrum those are. So I'll turn it off now and let's see how it sounds. I'll find just a very specific spot. That's a good one. Voices here. So here it is without. And here it is with. Now this is pretty effective, right? And it helps to reduce those sibilants without harming the rest of the vocal. And again, it's a really common problem to have because we're using very bright microphones that capture those sibilants. We're raising EQ with these high boosts, which also increases the sibilant frequencies, and we're adding compression to try to bring the vocal forward in the mix, but the sibilance is also then increased there. Having it reduced like this is really useful, especially when you're sending it to reverbs. And if you don't want to do the technique I mentioned earlier of moving all of your S's just to separate tracks, then what you could do is to copy this de-esser plugin that you've got set up onto your return channels as well, so that before the vocal is actually hitting that reverb on the return channel, it's de-essed again in order to reduce them even more, so that you're not having that problem of the S's hitting that reverb. So you might have a few or a couple different de-esser plugins going on within your mix, which is perfectly fine, because it's important to try to pull those back in and help the mix to be better balanced that way. Okay? Try it out.